In this video, we're going to try our hand at compost tea. And I don't know what I'm supposed to say now. Hi everybody! On this video, we're going to try our hand at compost tea. And the reason for that is because the garden is doing really well. It's all green and bushy. We've got green beans coming in. My berries are berrying, and I found a tomato. And the corn is about 6 feet tall now. So, and I've seen flowers and a lot of flowers and buds, and the bell peppers are looking really promising. So now is the time to start feeding it, because now is the time where the plants they're not focused on the leaves anymore. Now they're focused on the fruit. So we need to give them all the nutrients for that. And I could just pile up some compost on there, but it just seems like a lot of work. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some compost tea. And my husband and I were looking on the internet for different versions of what people do, and a lot of people have been using nylons, but I don't know about you, but my nylons are not cheap, so I'm not interested in sticking them in the garden. People are talking about using air pumps with stones, the bubblers that you find in fish tanks, and I don't have all that money, so we're gonna try something different, and we're gonna start here at this very awesome garden supply store. So we'll see what we can find here, and I'll get back with you, because we MacGyver everything. Okay, well, the first thing we were thinking about using was actually maybe some pants, but they're still like $4 or $5 for a pair, and we thought we can do better. So then we came over here to see if we could find some pillowcases or something like that, but as you can see, finding a pillowcase is not an option. So, but what we did find was quite a bit better, and that's curtain shears for 99 cents. And so they're thin, so they'd make an excellent net to hold the compost for the tea. So, winner! Okay, so now to the compost tea. There are a lot of videos on the internet about compost tea and how to make it and all kinds of wonderful stuff. And they're really good videos. They have a lot of good information. However, a lot of it is not real conducive to my ability to be lazy. So, we're going to try something a little different, and although I have some reservations, my husband assures me that it will work. So I love him, I'm going to trust him. And what we have here is a 32-gallon bin, and we got it at HD Supply for less than $10 with tax and a lid. So they're really cheap. We have a lot of them around here. So we're not sacrificing much when it comes to this. We have a 10-gallon air pump for an aquarium. We have a 6-inch air stone, and then an 8 feet of air tubing. Now, 8 feet is when it comes down to it. 8 feet ended up not being enough, and this is what we decided to do, because it's 3 feet up and another 3 feet back down, and then you've got the arch, the arching over the lip, and then you've also got the arching for the stone at the bottom. Either the stone's not going to lay flat, or the pump's not going to lay where we want it to be, and it's going to severely limit where we can put this bin. And if we need to move it, which happens a lot, we can't move it far. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually drill a hole in the bottom edge here and tuck the tubing through. And that's where this comes in. As seen on TV by Billy Mays. May you rest in peace, Billy. We miss your over-animated commercials. We're actually going to use just a little bit of this to make sure that we get a good seal so we don't start leaking. And basically, it's going to be a semi-permanent air stone mount in the bottom of this can. And what that gives us is the 8 feet of the tubing plus the length of the cord on the pump to be able to move the can where we need it on that particular day. So let's get going. Okay, so while we're waiting for the glue to dry, do you remember that shear? Well, here we go. By my math, we decided that, well, just my math being, I guessed, decided that that shear will make 4 tea bags. So that's what we're going to do right now, is make the tea bags. What I have here is a little can. It's got 6 scoops of composted manure. 3 of them is from chickens and 3 of them are from cows. And got them mixed up really well. Not sure how much will get in here, or will fit in the square, but I'll pour it in, tie it up real good, and then we'll go from there. I know there's a lot of other things out there that could be used, you know, such as worm castings and such, but look at my garden. And I'm not really willing to spend $15 a bag right now when you can look at my garden. Maybe next year we'll use our own worm castings, we'll see. So let's go. Pouring it in. So the glue is almost cured, and so in the meantime I thought I'd address a question. Many of you, and by many I mean the 3 that are actually watching, have asked me, if California is in a drought, then how do I have such a beautiful garden? And the answer to that is a reckless dog and a little forethought. The reckless dog meaning at some point in the recent past, my dog, in her shenanigans, ripped down the downspout from my house. And I haven't been able to get it back up. But I used the opportunity to take a few extra bins that I had over March and April and collect some of the rainwater coming off my roof. And so that's where we have. And I used the plastic over it to keep the I put the plastic over it to keep the mosquitoes out. So now I have a fresh some fresh water that's not coming out of my municipality, and it's helping water my garden. Now to put the stone in. Like the crack? Yeah. Release the craggle. Now to test the seal. Okay, so I've seen a lot of videos where people will put these together with bags and they'll just hang it on a hook on the side of the can. And what that, as a tea drinker, anybody knows that when you put a good chunk of the bag against the side, there's that much flow that doesn't happen through the bag, and it's not nearly as effective. So you end up having to do more to get the same amount. And I don't have more. I am broke. So using, you know, we got a small stone, we got a small pump, don't have a whole lot of bubbles to work with. So what I want to do, in order to get the maximum aeration and aerobic action through my compost tea bag, is I've got the loop, the bamboo stick, voila, right? And it just sits right there and holds it right above the bubbles, right in the bubbles. But then I thought about something, and that was the direct sunlight is not good in this situation. So we came up with another idea. My shield. So this is how it works. Got a shorter stick, right? And it's on the loop. I happen to have holes in my cans. And ta-da! Okay, one final note. I know there's a lot of people that put blackstrap molasses into their compost tea. And that's fine, but I don't have a lot of blackstrap unsulfurated molasses at my disposal. However, what I do have is a whole lot of honey. And it's raw honey. But here's where the controversy begins. I know that honey has a lot of really great qualities, such as it's an antiseptic. But what you need to remember about honey is they use honey to make mead. So they've got a way of making sure that those little yeasties survive in that. And what they do is they dilute it. I know this because I've made several batches. It's pretty good stuff too. However, what I'm gonna use somewhere between a quarter, maybe a half a cup of water in this whole bin, or honey in this whole bin, sorry, and let it go and do that. But if anybody wants to complain about it still, and they still don't believe me, even though I've studied honey because I love it. There's my garden. That corn is 6 weeks and 2 days old. So try me. Are you liking watching these videos? Because I'm liking making these videos. No, seriously, I enjoy taking my already injured husband and dragging him out here on his only day off to film me making these, to help me do it, to do the slave labor in the background, and then he turns around and he does all the editing and the audio work and all of that, just so you guys can hear what I'm saying and understand what's going on, and it's all wonderful. I really enjoy it, and I'd like to keep doing that. So if you would do me a huge favor and hit the like button, the subscribe button, leave me comments. I will answer your comments. I love reading them. And yeah, please, so that I can make more. And gardening is not the only thing we're doing. It just happens to be the only thing I'm doing right now. So thank you so much. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time. My math being, I guessed.